Hello and welcome back to Gapeys Garden. Today we're going to take a look at how I like to prune specifically tomatoes and peppers throughout the summer. I do that for a couple of different reasons. The tomatoes is mainly to prevent disease. We do get late blight every single year. It's just unavoidable here, but I want to delay that onset as long as possible. So keeping up with the pruning will reduce that from coming in early. Now for the peppers, I like to do the pruning to prevent disease as well as to make the plant more productive and ripen the fruits as quickly as possible. Because our season here is fairly short, so I want the best chance to get the most ripe pods as possible. So let's take a look and I'll show you how I do it. Let's start with our peppers here in the greenhouse. So the first thing I need to talk about is any leaves that are touching the ground. So when I transplanted these peppers in the greenhouse, I did try and remove all the bottom leaves so that none were touching the ground. But as they grow, there might be more leaves that start touching the ground, and I've already removed most of them. But you can see here there is one leaf here that is just barely touching the ground, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that. This is the Escamillo pepper, and one of the reasons I do that is because of pests. You might be able to tell there are some bite marks on this leaf, and that is from pill bug or potato bug damage. So I like to remove all those leaves to reduce the damage, and also it's always a good idea to remove leaves that are touching the ground because there could be some diseases on the ground that you don't want to get on your peppers. Now some peppers like this Marupi amarella like to grow really wide. It is starting to cover up a little bit the goronang that's behind it. So I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, but pretty soon I am probably gonna take this branch off here because it is starting to shade this other pepper back here. So that I'm doing that not just to get more productivity or anything out of this pepper, but more so that it will help out the pepper that's behind it. Now we're outside of the greenhouse taking a look at our tangerine tigers to see what we can prune here. We want to look for any diseased looking foliage. So on this plant here, I do see one leaf that's kind of yellowing for some reason. I'm not sure what that's about, but we are going to go ahead and remove that leaf. All the other leaves on the plant look pretty good and healthy, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. So we just want to get rid of that before it spreads anywhere else in case it's something, some kind of disease or something. Now here on this tangerine tiger, we have kind of some lower branching here that I usually like to remove. So they're branches that are formed really low to the ground, and they are starting to set flowers really pretty close to the ground. So if that were to produce a pod, it would probably bend this over. So I don't like the fruit to grow that close to the ground, so I will typically remove these lower branching foliage just to keep it a little more tidy. We've got this little branch here. I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I try to remove that before it gets too big, so that looks much better, and it'll make it less mess up here in the bottom, and it'll grow a little bit more taller. And I do have a cage around all of my tangerine tigers because I do know that they like to grow pretty tall. Now there is some more pruning that I'll do later in the season, probably around September time frame. I'll use this purple jalapeno as an example. So we've got all these pods set here down below and a bunch of small flower buds here on the top. So what I'll do around September time frame is leave any pods that are set on the plant, and I'll just pinch off any branches that have flowers that I know there's no chance in heck of producing a pod and having it ripen by the end of the season, and that will just reduce focus on trying to produce new pods, and it'll put the focus on the plant into ripening the pods that it has already set. Now let's take a look at our tomatoes. These are my cherry tomato plants. We have a couple that are more dwarf. These two here are kind of dwarfs, so I don't know that they're going to need a second. I put a second cage on this one. These are Texas tomato cages that come in two parts. So this is the lower part, and then you can add this second tier to the tomato cage. But anyway, we have this dwarf here. This is the Bendigo cherry drop. And I do the same thing with these. I check for any leaves that are diseased looking or touching the ground, and we can see here behind these weeds that we've got some yellowing on this leaf. So I'm going to go ahead and remove any of these lower leaves that are touching the ground or look yellow, so that we can just remove all that unhealthy foliage. There wasn't really a whole lot. The upper part of the plant looks just fine. So it's pretty normal for the lower leaves to just die back at some point throughout the season. So it's always good to remove those. Now, one more pruning I like to do with cherry tomatoes a little bit later in the season, probably around late August time frame. I'll start taking a look at any tomatoes that are well above our tomato cage and starting to sprout out too far, and just cut those back because I don't want them to get too out of control. But that's a little bit too early to do at this point because they haven't quite reached the top of the cages yet. But we're just keeping an eye on that, and we'll probably end up doing that in a month or so. Now, this next tomato pruning tip is probably the most debated that you'll find, and that is whether to remove suckers or not. So suckers are the branches on tomato plants that grow between the main stem, which is this thick stem here, and one of our leaf branches. So that is the main stem, and this is a leaf branch. And we've got a pretty big size sucker here. So I must have missed removing that one. I don't remove every single one, and this one is so big that I think I may just leave this one here. So I just kind of have to evaluate whether or not to remove suckers or not, and sometimes you'll get a sucker on a sucker. So this big sucker here has its own suckers. So now that this sucker is considered the main stem here, we've got a leaf branch coming out here, and then we've got a sucker here growing in between. So I am going to remove that sucker. And if we look at the primary main branch behind that, so this was the original branch, we've got a leaf branch here, and then we've got this cluster of leaves growing in between it. So I'm going to remove that one. So that's something, they just keep growing and growing all season long. Here you can see another one right here. So we're going to remove that. And if I come back in a few weeks, I'm sure there will be another sucker growing right where I removed the last one. So they do keep growing, and they grow quite vigorously, especially on the cherry tomatoes. And I think the main reason for people saying not to remove suckers is because it reduces the productivity of your tomato plant, which is probably true, but I think it's more important for people that live in a humid climate or that have a lot of blight issues on their tomatoes. So this isn't going to eliminate blight or anything, but it will allow more airflow where blight may take a little longer to reach your tomatoes. One more thing I wanted to show you that I don't see too often, but it happens occasionally. Normally these flower branches are just flowers, and there's nothing that grows beyond this cluster of flowers. But in some cases, it'll start growing some leaves at the end of the cluster of flowers, and that's really not normal, but it does happen sometimes. So I do like to remove those leaves from the end of the flower cluster. Before I go, I just want to let you know that not every gardener is going to recommend pruning your tomatoes and peppers. In fact, a lot of them say do not prune your tomatoes and peppers. So if you are a new gardener and are really confused by whether you should prune your peppers and tomatoes or not, I would say take a look at your climate. If this is your first year, you might want to just wait and see how it goes. And depending on how that goes, you may want to change how you do things the next year. If your season is really short, I think these pruning tips might help a lot. And if you have a lot of disease pressure throughout the season, you might want to also prune your tomatoes and peppers a little bit more. I hope that clears up any confusion you might have about pruning tomatoes and peppers. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.